The RGB Trilogy. It's so iconic, everyone wants to beat it. I really want to beat it, but there's a problem. I find these levels are really difficult. A while back, I went for Sonic Wave, and yeah, I kind of struggled on it, so I decided to be more extremes and try to get better at the game before coming back to any levels nearly this hard. And after beating 10 more extreme demons, I finally gained the confidence to go for something a bit closer to Sonic Wave. In this episode, we are here to beat Erebus, and we are faced with brutal choke points, boredom, insane flukes, and much more. It was a pretty crazy one, and I hope you enjoy this episode of GD Progression. So on day 1 of Erebus, I was just testing the waters and was really not committed to the level yet. But then I was able to do 82 to 100 a bunch of times and get pretty consistent at it, which made me pretty motivated. And I tried to do 66 to 100, but this part is really hard and I was not able to get that day. The shift movements at this part of the saw blades felt really awkward to get down. And then this wave at 67% is actually very difficult and I kept dying there. On day 2, however, I was able to get very consistent at this section, even did 66 to 100 a couple of times. Okay, but I actually did it though. There we go. I actually did it 3 times, I just didn't clip the other ones. Days 3 and 4, however, there was a massive fork in the road. Let me introduce you to the Erebus mid-section and the memory section. When I first played this memory section, I was absolutely lost what to do. So I searched up some Erebus completions, slowed them down and analyzed them, and even then, it was still really hard to get the click pattern down. I had to use speed hacks, show hitboxes, everything I could. But even then, after completely analyzing and thinking I was consistent at it, this little dual part right here never got consistent. The minikube before it did, but the duel still just fell off. And then there's a section right before the memory part, which is the hardest part of the level. It has some absolutely brutal timings and starts with these ridiculous ball clicks that are so hard. Then on day 5, I was still not fully consistent at this part at all. So I decided to learn the pre-drop, which thankfully is not too bad actually, especially compared to the middle sections. However, the middle sections are just so damn hard, and even the start of the drop is really hard, which made me really question if I should still keep going with this level. But then thankfully day 6, things start to go a bit better. I finally started to get fairly consistent at the middle section, and then I was also getting really consistent at the pre-drop, and I got my first title card attempt from 0. I got to the title screen. Wait, what? Hold up. Okay, I'm actually getting freaking nervous already, bro. Oh my god. Day 6 was pretty darn good, but then on day 7 it got even better. First up, I started off with my biggest run to 100, doing the memory section to 100. Yes, I just did the memory to 100. Since the drop part of 66% is quite difficult, I decided to do it a bunch. I did 66 to 100 3 times. Alright. We did that one again. Alright. We're getting some nice consistency here. And then I also did the memory section to 100 again. Memory to 100 again. The day was going really well. So my next goal is to do 45 to 100. The middle section to 100. I wanted to do that run 3 times. And I almost did my first one, but I was just short. Oh my god, no. That was actually so close. Well, I saw a great day on the level. I was super happy with that. I was about done for the day, but decided to play from 0 for a little bit, just to see if I could finish off with anything good. I got to the club set monster this time. Yeah, I got to the middle section. It's the hardest part. There was no way I was passing that. Or maybe there was. What the f did I just do? Okay. And I just casually like fluked the hardest parts. So no, I did not pass the middle section, but I was 1 click away from doing so. 49 to 65 might not seem like a massive fluke, but it is literally like most of the level's difficulty. So yeah, after this run, I was feeling super motivated and excited to keep playing. I was pretty committed to this level, so I started up my first stream of Erebus the next day. Unfortunately, day 8, I did not get any good runs. But day 9, oh my god, this day was absolutely insane. Firstly, I started off with doing this run from 48%. Okay, finally did. I think 45 to 100. Finally. 45 to 100 done. I was super happy about that. And then I decided to play from 0, and nothing could have prepared me for what was about to happen. And I got what genuinely might be my most insane fluke in Geometry Dash. And I already had my chance. I just do? What the f did I just do? What? What the f did I just do? Are you kidding me? Are you f***ing kidding me? No, it's like the hopping over puddles fluke. There's no way that actually is real. Okay, my 65% run was already a big progress fluke. And then I just got an even bigger progress fluke from a run that was already a progress fluke. I honestly didn't know how to feel. It was awesome getting this far, but I was really hoping this wouldn't be another hopping over puddles situation. What I learned from that though is to not set my expectations too high after something like this happens. Just appreciate the good run, but know that I'm not going to get back there for a minute and be fine with that. But I actually proved to myself that I do have good consistency in the midsection, because I got 65 again a few minutes after the 88 fail. Alright, well, that's really good consistency. I will certainly take that. Like, I genuinely don't. That's actually one of the craziest things I've ever done in GD. Was 88%. I don't know how the frick I did that. That was very insane. But yeah, have a good one, everybody. Well, yep, that wraps up an insane day. Anyways, on day 10, I did another run of 45 to 100. Finally, I did that run again. Oh my god, why did that take so long to do? It was really nice to do that run, but unfortunately, I only got one good run from 0. Oh, I mean, that was good. That was a dumb death. That was a good run. Well, day 10 was alright. On day 11, however, I had really good consistency on the pre-drop, but every time I passed the pre-drop, I would instantly die to the middle section. That's gotta be one of the most brutal things about Erebus. It makes you wait through like this 10-second title card just to throw you into some of the hardest clicks of the level at this ball section here. And I kept constantly dying here, and it was pissing me off. Day 12 wasn't great either, other than this one really big run I got from 0. Okay. Well, it was good to know I could still get that far, which was certainly true because on day 13 I got multiple drop attempts. I died to something really easy, but I got really far. Dude, I can't believe I died to the upward spam again. Oh, alright. Okay, I'm not even gonna mention the number I died to. Oh my god, and... I will not mention that number once again. You know what, the way that 67% is a very hard part, so I'll take only 2 deaths there. Day 13 was great, I got multiple drop attempts, but that did not even slightly compare to day 14. Day 14, I was hanging out with some friends and decided to hop on Erebus for a little bit because we were all playing GD. I wasn't going to be on for very long, didn't expect to do anything, but then I started getting really far. Okay, I cannot believe I died to that. I got 81. Oh my god, I'm getting really far. Oh my f***. No! What the f***?
Did you just go for 84?
Yes.
Is this some good footage?
Yeah, I'm getting really far constantly right now. 1 second. I died to 6-7 again. I was just getting so far for absolutely no reason. It felt like if there was an opportunity to beat it, it had to be now. Oh nice, I died to a bug at 69%. I died to a bug, and it's at the funny number too. I didn't even know that. Well, you guessed it, I did not beat it that day. It was just another one of those days where I was really consistent on the level, but could not push to the end. And then day 15 was infuriating. I got to the memory part a bunch from 0, but just died to a bunch of BS. And yeah, that's literally all it was. If Erebus is in a bad mood, it can absolutely screw you over at the dual memory part if it wants to. And that's exactly what it did this day. But thankfully, day 16 was much better, starting with another 45 to 100 run. Nice, I did 45 to 100 again. And that means I did my mini goal of doing 45 to 100 3 times. Previously, my next goal is to do 23 to 100, but I was already getting so far from 0, so I kind of just put that to the side. And I grinded from 0. We got a silly transition there. Well, I had to die to the bug sometime, okay? It's a rite of passage for Erebus victors. At least we got out of the way. Oh, okay, we slipped off the block. I just didn't click. Wow, getting far a lot. Dude, I literally just got 76. So yeah, the consistency was great, but there was a problem. I would literally do anything but beat the level. I was also kind of worried since I haven't died to this ship part again, and I haven't died to the end section yet. And I was pretty worried that was to come because I died to these parts a lot in runs. But the consistency was great. It was a great session, and I was pretty happy. But the same cannot be said about day 17, where I literally only got 52 as my best run. I did not get to the memory part or the drop a single time. It's just, I don't know. Sometimes I don't get this game, man. I was so consistent yesterday, and literally just nothing happened today. Like, what? But oh well, I mean, I guess that's just how GD goes. Anyways, day 18, however. At first, I didn't feel super consistent, but then from 0, I got a very far run. That is so dumb. That part's easy. No. Not to run cut short, I had that one wave part that's not even that hard, by the way. But remember earlier how I said I was scared about dying at the end in the 88 ship? Well, thankfully, there was nothing to fear because this happened a few minutes later. I could see why you'd say that, but I think this all is fun. But yeah, I mean, I don't really like how hard the middle section is. Was that twice in a row? I'm not sure. Might have been. Yes! Oh my god, I just did it! I just did it! I just beat Erebus! I just actually beat Erebus! What? Yo! There's no way! There is no way! I deadass just did it! Yo, I didn't even die to the end! I didn't even die to the end! I was so scared at the end. I thought I was gonna die to 92. Alright, well anyways, let's see. This will be high because of the memory part. Yeah. That is a lot. I blame the memory, okay? Don't blame me. Let's freaking go. I beat Erebus. I beat Erebus. Well, let's discuss Erebus. This was an interesting one. I think I say that in every level review, but they're interesting, trust. Well, I think it's pretty crazy. I'm finally getting around to another level, the RGB Trilogy. After Sonic Wave absolutely destroying me, it's no surprise that I was very scared of this level of difficulty. And Erebus is definitely the easiest one, but still, it's a pretty hard level. But yeah, it does feel very cool to finally get myself inching back up to Sonic Wave difficulty without the levels taking a decade to beat either. Anyways, Erebus is a cool level. The decoration it's kind of messy, but it was made by one creator. I think it has a pretty interesting theme, and the song is alright. I mean, it's a good song, but I don't think it's like great or anything. But anyways, let's get to the meat and potatoes and discuss the gameplay of Erebus. I think overall Erebus is a fun level, but it's got a few pretty big issues. First and foremost, waiting at this title screen for 10 seconds just to get thrown to the most impossible gameplay of the entire level. Yeah, it's pretty frustrating. And as I said before, this midsection is absolutely the hardest part. Second of all is this memory section. The first mini cube here got mostly very consistent, but this dual part just never got fully consistent. Like some sessions I was completely fine with it, other sessions I was not fine with it. It's just a very weird part, and I really do not like it. On the other hand, the easiest part is probably like this part at the pre-drop. It's really not too difficult and gets consistent. Now this level does have two bugs, and that is this click here and this click here. Both sometimes just completely bug out and don't work. And I also consider the dual section here to be kind of buggy, but not completely. I don't really know how to explain it. It's so weird. But I thought the whole pre-drop was quite satisfying. I think the drop is pretty fun despite this wave being a huge choke point and the two bugs I mentioned previously. Anyways, for the enjoyment, I'm gonna give this a solid 7 out of 10. It was not fun learning the memory part at all. It was not fun taking ages to get consistent at the middle section, and some things on this level are annoying, but overall it's not too shabby. A lot of parts are satisfying, and it is pretty fun mostly. In my opinion, this is obviously a second hardest, below Sonic Wave and above Bloodbath. I'm finally beating a level that I think is for sure harder than Bloodbath, but for sure easier than Sonic Wave. I think this is a solid middle ground in my opinion. But yeah, I'm very happy I finally got new second hardest and 2 out of 3 of the RGB Trilogy complete. Now, will I do Yatagarasu next? That is something I've been thinking about and I'm not sure. Yata is definitely a lot harder than Erebus and probably would take longer. Maybe I'll do it. I'm still thinking about that. I don't really know for sure what I'll do next. Maybe some other extremes like in the 400 range. But yeah, I don't really know. Anyways, thank you very much for tuning into this episode of GD Progression. If you enjoyed this episode, don't worry because I have plenty more GD Progression episodes just like this. And they'll be on screen right here. But yeah, everyone, please subscribe. These videos take decades to make and I'll see you in the next one.